Okay, it's time for Unit 3. We're going to start with systems of equations by graphing and substitution. Okay, we're going to start by reviewing horizontal and vertical lines. You know it's a horizontal vertical line because there's only one variable in the equation. So, like for instance, y equals -3. Y is the only variable. Or x equals 5. X is the only variable. We have this cute way of remembering it. It's Hoy and Bucks. Hoy reminds us that horizontal lines have a slope of 0, and our y equals just a number. So in this case, we have y equals -3, but we could have y equals any just number. Okay. Vux is for vertical. Lines have undefined slope. And our x equals just a number. Okay. So let's graph these. Our horizontal line, horizontal, like horizon, it goes across where y is -3. So I go to where y is -3, and I draw a line straight across. Then I go to where x equals 5. Well, x equals 5 right here. And I know that x equals just a number as a vertical line. Vertical straight up and down. And hopefully yours is better than mine. Nope, that was sloppy. And where those two lines cross, the point where those two lines cross, that's your solution to your system. Solution to the system is where the two lines intersect. So here, it would be at 5, -3. So this point right here, where they cross, is at 5, -3. All right, let's try a couple more. So try this one. Let's start with x equals 4. X equals, Vux, so v for vertical, undefined slope, and x. So we're going to have a vertical line through 4. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. Okay. And then for y equals 2, we go to where y is 2 and go straight across. Those two intersect at this point right here, which is 4, 2. That's my solution to the system. Okay, come over here. We want to know where these two cross. So we can go back. X equals -3. Here's where x is -3, and I know x equals, try this again. There's a vertical line. And y equals -5 is a horizontal line through -5. And they're going to cross right here at this point, and that point is -3, -5. All right, let's try some that are not just horizontal and vertical lines. So looking at the next section, we're still doing it by graphing, and some of these are rather easy, but these first couple are not solved for y. So before we can graph any line, we have to solve for y. So looking at this first one, I have -x plus 2y equals -6. Okay, I'm going to add the x to both sides, which gives me 2y equals -6 plus x. Divide by 2. And I get y equals -3 plus 1/2 x. I know the number not with the x is my y-intercept, so right here. when y is by itself. And then this is rise over run. So I'm going to go up 1 over 1, 2. Up 1 over 1, 2. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and graph that line. So I want the line that goes through that. Should really have arrows. There we go. Ah, there we go. Okay. Now the second line, it's in blue. I have 3x plus 2y. Let's make sure you keep these separate somehow. Equals 2. I'm going to start by subtracting 3x. So it gives me 2y equals negative 3x plus 2, or 2 minus 3x. It doesn't matter which order you write those in. Then divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, and I get y equals negative 3 halves x plus 1. So to graph this line, my y-intercept is the number by itself, so it's positive 1. I'm going to start at positive 1. And from there, my slope is negative 3 over 2, which means I'm going to go down 3 over 2, down 3 over 2, and draw my line. Oh, I did not line that up well. See if we can fix that. No, that's not what I meant to do. Darn it, let's just erase that. Okay, there we go, much better. So right here, where the two lines cross, that's my solution. So my solution is at 2, negative 2. Looking at the next one, I need to solve the first one for y. So I'm going to start out 2x plus 3y equals negative 9. Subtract 2x from both sides. So it gives me 3y equals negative 2x minus 9. Divide everything by 3. Then I get y equals negative 2/3 x minus 3. Okay, so this is my y-intercept. I'm going to start at negative 3. My slope is negative 2 over 3, so that means I'm going to go down 2 over 3. Down 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to draw my line. Maybe I used green this time. That's fine. So we're going to go right here. There's my line. And then this line right here, x equals 3. We know that is just a vertical line through where x is 3. So if I draw that, they cross down here at this point right here. So at 3, negative 5. So 3, negative 5 is my solution. Okay, we have a couple more graphing ones. So looking at this one, it's already solved for y, which makes it really easy for us. We're going to start at the y-intercept, which is 5. Slope is 7/3, which means I go up 7 over 3. But that doesn't fit on my graph. So instead of going up 7 and over 3, I can go down 7 and back 3. my line will still be going up from left to right. I'll still have a positive slope. So I'm going to go down 7, back 1, 2, 3. It's like making the top and the bottom negative, and we know a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So that's why we can go down and back, making them both negative. Okay, so then my line is right there. And then x equals -3 is just through where x is -3, which is right here. Where those overlap is right here at this point. So -3, -2 is my solution. All right, looking at this one, neither one of these are horizontal or vertical lines. These are both just y equals mx plus b. I'm going to graph them both separately. So the first one, start at the y-intercept at -4. And then my slope is 5/2. So I'm going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. And put a point. And then I'm going to draw my line through my points. Yep. There we go. And then the second one starts at 3. So I'm going to go up here at 3 and put a point. And then my slope is -1, which means I go down 1 over 1. Because remember, we can write all whole numbers over 1. So down 1 over 1. Draw my line. And my solution is where they cross right here at 2, 1. All right. So this should all be review. You should have done systems by graphing in middle school. You also should have done systems by substitution. So let's look at a few of those. Substitution, you solve for one variable and plug it into the other equation. So this one's already solved for x, which is very nice. So I can take this and say, okay, I know x is equal to all of this. So I'm going to substitute all of that in here where x is. So that's going to give me negative. And then where x is, I'm going to put all of this stuff. 5y plus 1 plus 9y equals -5. Distribute my negative sign. So this is like a -1. -1 times 5y is -5y. -1 times 1 is -1. Plus 9y equals -5. Combine my y's. -5y plus 9y is 4y. Minus 1 equals -5. Add 1 over, and I get 4y equals -4. Divide both sides by 4, and I get y equals -1. So now I have y, I still need to know what x is. So I'm going to take y, and I'm going to plug it back in here for my y value. So I had x equals 5 times, now I know that y is -1 plus 1. I plugged it into this equation just because it would be easier. Since it's already solved for x, I can just simplify this side. So 5 times -1 is -5 plus 1. So I get x equals -4. And we're done. We write our answer as an ordered pair. So the answer to this system is -4, -1. X, y. All right, let's try this next one. This one's kind of nice because they're both already solved for y. So it would be a really easy one to graph. But we can also just say y equals 3. We know y is 3, so I can put this where y is. So I'm going to say 3 equals 2/3 x minus 1. Add the 1 over. So I get 4 equals 2/3 x. Remember to get rid of the 2/3, I multiply by 3 over 2. Multiply this by 3 over 2. Okay, so that's 12 over 2, or 6, equals, remember all of this cancels, and we're just left with x. So now my x, I already know y is 3, so my answer is 6 comma 3. I don't have to go any further. And there's my answer. All right, let's check out this next one. Okay, this bottom one is almost solved for x. So to get it solved for x, I could divide by 4, which would give me x equals 4. Now that I have that, it's a lot easier. I can just plug that in for x up here. So I'm going to have 7 times 4 plus 4y equals 24. Okay, this is 28 plus 4y equals 24. Subtract 28. And I get 4y equals negative 4. Divide. And I get y equals negative 1. And I already know x is 4, so my final answer is 4 comma negative 1. And that's my answer. This next one over here, I'm actually going to skip because they're both solved for y and we have these fractions. We would most likely graph this one. Graphing would be the nicest way to solve this problem. But you could say that y equals all this stuff and put it where y is and set them equal and solve. However, to keep this video from being horribly long, I'm going to stop right there and let you get started on your practice. You're doing 3.1 practice. Make sure you do odds on the new stuff, and I'll review. Please let me know if I can be any help.